AITA for telling my coworker their special diet is just an excuse to avoid contributing at potlucks? I, 29F, work in a small, closed-knit office. There are about 15 of us total, and we're all pretty friendly. Our office is the kind of place that really values team bonding events. Think escape rooms, pizza Fridays, and most importantly, potlucks. Now, I'll admit it, I love a good potluck. There's something special about seeing what everyone brings, trying new dishes, and sharing food. It's like this unspoken way of showing care. Sue brings her famous buffalo dip. Tom always shows up with his incredible smoked ribs, and I've got my lasagna that everyone raves about. More on that later. We usually plan these potlucks a couple of weeks in advance, so no one's blindsided. And the rule has always been simple. Bring something to share. It doesn't have to be fancy. If you're not a cook, pick up chips, cookies, or soda from the store. Just contribute. It's more about the effort than anything else. Enter Jake, 34M. Jake joined our office about a year and a half ago. At first, he seemed nice enough, quiet, kind of a keeps-to-himself guy, but perfectly polite. The potluck issue didn't come up right away because our first couple of events happened when he was still new, and people cut him some slack. But as time went on, something became very clear. Jake never brings anything. Ever. Now, before anyone jumps on me, I want to make something crystal clear. I have zero issues with people who have dietary restrictions. Allergies? Totally valid. Vegan? Cool. Gluten-free? Do your thing. I'm not the just eat it, it's fine person. I respect people's choices and needs. But Jake? Jake claims to follow a special diet. That's what he calls it, special. He's never explained what it is. Not once. At every potluck, when people ask what he brought, he gives this vague shrug and says, "Oh, I have a special diet, so I can't really contribute." Sometimes he adds something like, "It's hard to find foods I can eat," but here's the kicker. He eats everyone else's food. And not like, "Oh, I'll just have a little salad or some fruit," kind of eating. No. Jake goes all in. He'll pile his plate high with wings, casseroles, pasta, sandwiches, you name it. Foods that don't seem to fit into any obvious dietary restrictions. He'll even skip over the healthier options like veggie trays or fruit bowls and go straight for the most indulgent dishes. I started noticing this pattern pretty early on, and it bugged me. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt at first. Maybe he's shy about his health? Maybe it's an anxiety thing? But it's been a year and a half, and at this point, it feels less like a special diet and more like a special excuse. Last week, we had our quarterly potluck, and I decided to go all out. I made my lasagna, both a classic meat version and a vegetarian one, because a couple of coworkers don't eat meat. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I perfected this recipe over years. It's one of those dishes that people ask for at every event. I stayed up late the night before prepping it, layering the noodles, sauce, and cheese, and I felt good about it. I even packed the trays in cute thermal bags to keep them warm. The day of the potluck, the break room was buzzing with energy. Sue brought her buffalo dip, Tom had his ribs, and someone else picked up a giant Costco cake. Everyone was chatting and complimenting each other's dishes as we set up the food table. Then in walks Jake, empty-handed. At this point, I knew it was coming, but I still felt that familiar irritation bubble up. Jake strolled over to the table, looked around, and said his classic line, "Oh wow, everything looks great. I'll see what fits my diet." I watched as he picked up a plate and went straight for my lasagna. Both trays. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say he took a huge portion. Like the kind of portion that makes you wince because you know someone else isn't going to get a chance to try it. I stood there watching him, and something inside me just snapped. I said, "Jake, if you can eat all this food, your special diet doesn't seem like much of a restriction. It just seems like an excuse not to bring anything." The room went dead silent. You know that feeling when you realize you've just said the thing everyone was secretly thinking? Yeah, that. Jake froze mid-bite. His face turned red, and he mumbled, I didn't have time to cook." I shot back, "That's fine, but you could have picked up something simple. Chips? Soda? It's not about the cooking. It's about contributing." He didn't say anything after that. He just put his plate down, muttered, "I think I'm going to head out," and left the room. The break room was awkward after that. A couple of people whispered, but no one outright said anything for a while. I felt this weird mix of satisfaction and guilt. I said what I said, and I meant it, but I also didn't want to humiliate the guy. Later in the day, a couple of coworkers came up to me. One of them, Megan, said, "I think you were a little harsh. You could have pulled him aside instead of calling him out in front of everyone." Fair point. I probably could have handled it better. But then others, like Tom and Sue, quietly told me they were glad I said something. Apparently, I wasn't the only one who'd noticed Jake's freeloading. Tom even joked, "I've been wondering if his special diet was just free food only." Still, I couldn't shake the guilt. I didn't want to be the office bully. I wasn't trying to make Jake feel small. I just wanted him to realize how unfair it is for him to take advantage of everyone else's efforts. The thing is, Jake's excuse, "I didn't have time to cook," just doesn't sit right with me. These potlucks are planned weeks in advance. Everyone else, even the busiest people in the office, manages to bring something. Sue's got 3 kids and still whips up her buffalo dip. One guy picked up a 12-pack of soda on his way to work. It's not that hard, and I wouldn't even care if Jake showed up with something tiny like a bag of pretzels. I really wouldn't. It's not about the value of what you bring, it's about the effort. But Jake, he's been skating by for over a year, taking full advantage of everyone else's generosity. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't have snapped at him publicly, but I honestly feel like he needed to hear it. The office has been a little weird since then. Jake didn't show up for the last couple of days, and I've been wondering if I owe him an apology. On one hand, I think I could have handled the situation more tactfully. I'm not proud of embarrassing him. But on the other hand, I stand by what I said. Potlucks are about sharing, and it's not fair for one person to take without giving. It's basic courtesy. So, Reddit, AITA for calling out Jake in front of everyone? Should I have spoken to him privately instead? Or was I justified in saying something, given how long this has been going on?